Goedenavond and good evening. First thing I need to say is that this evening will be in English because we're stuck with a Hungarian, um, but we're very happy with that. So I'm very, very happy and proud to be not introducing. Most of you have seen him or at the introduction at the beginning of the day for Shatan Tango, but that we will have hopefully some quality time with Béla Tarr tonight. It's going to be conversation, then a laudatio, and also a little talk by the dean. We did not calculate Q&A, but Béla will be around and there will be drinks, so it will be very easy to address him directly if you want. Béla Tarr, an auteur, who made I think, by now we can say, lasting impression on history of cinema, on many people of you. If you ever seen a film, you do remember certain scenes, certain moments. He's been defended by some big authorities, Susan Sontag early on, Jacques Rancière, Jonathan Rosenbaum, Thomas Elsassar, all people who really stood up for him. Béla thinks there are more important things than verbal communication. That's going to be a challenge, maybe. But I totally agree and respect, and so to start the evening, and maybe, well, it's a particular night for, again, Europe could collapse this evening if elections in France turn out with a surprise. I suggested to show a work by him, not a clip. We're in an anatomical theater, but we will not cut up his work. But this, still I think we should start with images, moving images. And so the suggestion came to start with Prologue, a film he made in 2004 to celebrate, or actually to accentuate, first of all, the entrance of Hungary and other countries to the European Union. So please enjoy a small but integral film by Béla Tarr called Prologue, and after that we'll start the conversation. Thank you for coming. Please welcome Béla Tarr. Thank you. Thank you, Béla, for taking the time with us here in Ghent, in this anatomical theater. Nothing dangerous about it.
Just a little vivisection.
Yeah. You proposed a prologue. As I said, I would like to show not a fragment, but an integral work of yours. It has a very specific origin. It was a commissioned work, I think, or an invitation work for a 25-part film, Visions of Europe, shot in 2004 or created. It's a hypothetical question because we all know, and let's not address this further, you stopped filming or filmmaking as a, but hypothetically, would you again accept an invitation to deal with this subject, Europe, because it's a particular night again? I mean, if the French elections go wrong, Europe is in crisis once more. Yeah.
During of the screening, I was checking, and the BBC breaking news is Macron won.
So
no reason to come back for the filmmaking.
But how dear is the thought of Europe for you? Is it an important notion in your thinking or not?
Europe? Would you tell me what is the Europe?
Excuse me?
Would you tell me what is means Europe?
In Greek mythology or more contemporary?
No, yeah, in the Greek mythology we know. But now, yeah. Honestly, when you are working, you see the people, and you see concrete people. You know, if someone say to me, nation, it is a too messy or too big category. I do not understand those big words, you know. I see your eyes, I see his eye, I see her eye, you know. We are concrete human being. I'm sorry, I cannot do anything with this category which is called Europe or called, I don't know, humanity, because it's too big. But the concrete person.
Was that also your way? Yeah.
It means
it's
a
existence, yeah.
And it means a lot. His pain or her pain, or their joy, or their life. It's important, yeah. But it's too foggy for me.
But you accepted the invitation. It was a way of working because people associate you with very long films. This is an integral work, but it's only a few minutes. So your thinking is not per definition.
You know, when they were asking some people, some filmmakers, to say something about Europe, or to say something about this new Europe, which became bigger in 2004. That was my first impression. I have to show what is around me, what I see on the street, what I see in every minute. Yeah, a lot of hurted, humiliated, miserable people, and they are important for me.
And from former interviews, I know you don't like people to read too much into or meaning into the experience of meeting and confronting people on the screen. But it's very kind eyes of a kind lady who's sharing food, but she's also bookkeeping.
Yes,
And
she's an angel.
there's a clock behind it, yes.
She's an angel, yeah.
But with an accountant, with one hand of the accountant.
Yeah, because she has to do.
Yeah. And the clock at the back, almost 12 o'clock, coincidence? It's like,
This clock wasn't work, and I was just thinking the best if we keep it just a little bit before noon.
When people are hungry, yeah.
Yeah, lunchtime.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, maybe our conversation will steer between prologue, this film, and epilogue, because basically your career as a filmmaker is finished, or you have finished it in a way. But there's an epilogue referring to the exhibition in I that just finished today.
Yeah, they closed right now.
Yeah. So people will not see what I was hoping for to share with them, namely this one long shot you created especially for the exhibition. It's called Muhammad, about a boy playing accordion, and again the eye contact and the context, the boy and then the context where the boy is. I mean, I think it's great work. You say it can only exist within the framework of the show. I think it can exist as well as this, but let's not disagree. Back to Europe. It's a very simple, straightforward, well, seemingly straightforward piece, but I was very surprised that at the end there's some classical music. I think it's Mozart. Certainly there's not the street sounds. And for me this was Europe again, because the exhibition starts and ends with the borders,
Yeah, it's something about oh no, as I see we are talking about some political issues, which is okay, we can, but you know, how can I say to you, it's not about Europe, it's about the situation what we have now. You know, let's say Europe, okay.
Sorry.
Europe is now rich enough to say those people, hey,
they could,
welcome. Or Europe is strong enough not too afraid from those people. And the other hand, why are we afraid from them? Why? Because, you know, I came from Hungary, and in Hungary now there is a huge campaign against the refugees and the migrants, and everybody just say they are destroying our Christian culture or our ideology or something like that. It's so stupid. You know, I believe multicultural humanity, and we can learn a lot from them. And this is really so stupid, so primitive, so ugly, and I'm sorry, I hate this kind of ideologies, and I cannot accept. But the exhibition it's not only about this. The exhibition is talking about the human dignity and the fact everybody has a right for a normal life. And doesn't matter if someone is Shinto or Muslim or Hindu or I don't know, Jew or I don't know, you know, so stupid. We cannot build up borders, we cannot build up fences, which is a shame of my homeland. And of course we built up a fence in this exhibition.
Yes.
But it's not only about this.
No, no. I mean, there's been many chapters and segments of
Yes.
your work in there, and but let's hope there's another opportunity, there's another epilogue to your career that people can
No,
witness
it's
that.
not. It was.
Flashback, flashback. Back to the prologue. One of the things, striking, obvious themes, and I think it connects to what we're just talking about, is there is this. There's two components in the work: the collective, or a group of people, and an individual. Like here, it's very clear. There's one individual, but it's really a group of people. And I think I see
But the
that
group
recurring.
of people has face, and they have name,
Yeah.
and they have their own life.
Yeah.
We cannot treat them as a mess. This is what this short haiku tries to explain to you. It's everybody has a name. Who is, and you know, this is the most important thing.
Mhm. Still, formally, I mean, as a to create or to invent your scenes, there is this dynamic of one person versus, quite often, and I think in your films more often than many other films, people together in a room, together often in a bar. The bar is like another motif that recurs because it brings people together.
Yeah, the people are mostly living together, except when they are alone. It's no, sorry, this is really not. Uh, it's not working like this.
Okay.
It is too sophisticated, and too. You know, when you do a film, you are just listening for the situation. You are listening. You have to create a normal human situation, which is where if you put into the situation uh, normal personalities, I do not use the word actors, just they are capable to live in this situation. In this case, half of your work is done, and you can see on their eyes they are not playing, they are being. And this is the main issue, and this is the. I don't care they are alone or
In group,
or they are in a situation with some other people. Only to, let's say in the touring horse is only about two.
yes,
It's,
there's two,
it's,
but
it's not. It's not. You cannot say it's.
For a brief moment there is the group of gypsies surfacing and then disappearing again.
Yeah,
As a
I
kind of
see
contrast.
you are focusing for the groups.
No.
We are starting with Europe, it's a big group, and now
Okay, can I move
we
to
are reducing slowly.
Can I reduce it to chickens?
Yeah, we can.
Because no, I was thinking while you were explaining, the genuine look in their eyes is the most important. That they are real and not actors. This has been a continuity from the beginning, from your first film, Family Nest. What was then in Hungary, I read, kind of documentary fiction or a hybrid between storytelling and real documentary. That's the way you started in a way. Yeah.
I never did documentary, you know, because first of all, I don't believe the documentary is existing, because it's totally different if we are talking only together, and then when he is here in this situation with the camera, because the camera, it's influencing the situation, and we are totally different if we are just sitting outside and we are, yeah, I'm smoking, you do not, and we are just talking, you know, this is a situation. Don't be, you know, and that's why I don't believe the documentary. This film, my first, how I was starting, it's a very simple thing. I loved the cinema. I was 22 years old, without any film education or anything. And I had a feeling, fuck off. If I go to the cinema, I see just fake stories, fake people, let's say fake actors, very bad fake colors. And of course, everything, it was far from the life. And I said no. And we decided, it was only 5 shooting days because we had no money. And we had a handheld 60 millimeter camera, and I definitely knew we have to breaking all of rules, we have to breaking everything, we just have to use it, this rough handheld camera, we have to, doesn't matter it's shaking or not. And we don't have dialogues, everything it was improvised. And we were shooting in a small flat, when everybody's face, it was very close. And that's what I wanted to beat you. I wanted to kick the door, and I wanted to shake you, to say, hey, this is the reality. And it has to be on the film. And somehow that was my entree. And of course, step by step, the style, it became more deeper, or let's say I went further, and I make it more and more pure. You know, I don't like the Christmas trees, and I wanted to take it all the time more simple as possible.
Yeah, and it reached a very different family nest with your very last film, but in a way, it's also a nuclear family. It's the minimum of.
Honestly, if you watch carefully,
Yeah.
you see the circle closed.
Yes.
Somehow I went back to the same point. Surely, of course, it's a different weight.
Yeah.
It's more heavy, and because
small circles.
you know, when you are doing your final film, and when you are making a film about the death, in this case, it's not a joke anymore.
I was intrigued by Turin Horse, and for the two main people, it's a father and daughter. It's not a husband and wife. Is that again also an echo to the early films and this tense relation between one generation and the other, or?
No,
because you said the circle closes.
It's again, it's too sophisticated for me. It's a very, you know, it is a simple human relationship. Father and daughter, and the father's right hand doesn't work. It means he needs her help. He cannot dress up alone. And that's all.
Yeah, could have been the wife.
Yeah, you know, a wife, maybe the wife just leaving, and she say, you know, it's not.
Okay.
But the daughter, it is
She's more obedient, yes. Yeah. Functions better for the script. Yeah.
For the script.
Well, not script, for the composition. Okay. Sophisticated side remark. I know, I mean, there's been circulated, thanks to some colleagues, a list, I don't know where it comes from internet, obviously, of your favorite films, 10 favorite films. Passion of Joan of Arc by Dreyer is on there. You could also say from that film, with nothing but close-ups, he moved to Gertrude, to the last film of Dreyer, also much more distanced and more composed and quiet, but also more pessimist in a way, from passionate to pessimist. Yeah.
First of all, about the pessimism. You know, if you are a real pessimist, can you believe you are waking up at 3 o'clock at the morning, still dark, and you are getting in a car, going to the location, to be there at 4, and it's freezing, really. It's everybody hates you because everybody is cold. And can you believe I do this with myself? I don't care about them, they can die. But me, I'm in the same shit. And can you believe I'm doing this just because I want to show you something here in a warm place? If I'm pessimist?
Just evil. Back to the chickens. No.
Okay.
I'm serious.
Okay.
No, but
I just have to counting how much chickens are in my movies.
no, I was.
In the beginning of the Familyness, there are some.
It's the opening shot.
And yeah, and also some chickens are in the yeah in
Not that
in the
many.
shot and tango at the opening.
With the cows.
The
Yeah.
track, yeah, when the cows are there are some chickens.
I was,
I
yeah,
think 3.
yeah. No, I was moving towards man versus animal, because that is also something that I keep on noticing when watching the work. And for me, the most striking moment in the final film, Turing Horse, was not the one where many people say it is where the people want to escape their house, but then they return. For me, the most powerful moment was when they leave with the carriage or with all the belongings, but they pull the carriage and the horse is behind them. It's like a reversal of a rapport, a relationship. And I think that between animal and human is something essentially also in the work.
Okay, now I will be sophisticated. First of all, let's see what is the Turing horse. The Turing horse is an anti-Genesis story. Let's say the God created this shit during of 6 days, and at the 7th he said it's fine, and he just slept. Okay, and the first day he divided the darkness and the brightness. And then slowly the whole stuff. The Turing horse, you know, don't forget there is a kind of prologue which says the story of Nietzsche. And you know what Nietzsche said? The God is dead. This is the beginning of the Zarathustra. It means if we really want to talk about the death, because it's sure, if the God loves you, do not allow you to die. Okay, and then we decided we do it an anti-Genesis story. Day by day, we take it away. And then by the end, here is the darkness. And, okay, turn back to the animals. If you want to talk about this kind of, let's say, complex or let's say deep questions, you cannot treat it as a story. You cannot treat it, you cannot do just storytelling. You have to see the whole world. And the whole world, there are, yeah, some human stories, but everything is happening in the space and in the time. And of course the space is a nature, and we are not only, we are on the world, there are also, we have to share it, this world, with animals. And that's why I like to involve the animals. And of course there is the time. If you see the logic of the films, they are very simple. Action cut, action cut, action cut. But it's not. The time, it's also a part of our life. We are living in a time. And of course, when we want to talk about the death, we have to talk about the time. Day by day, we lose something. We have less energy, we less, yeah. And then by the end, it
fade out.
Just silence. No apocalypse, because it's a big TV show. You know, horses.
Yeah, it's a Hollywood production.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. You obviously, from the beginning, refused anything even remotely similar to Hollywood aesthetics. Also, the very basic thing of good guys, bad guys, or this conflict notion in your film. I mean, I don't see entirely good people versus entirely bad people in your work. They all
because
have
we
their
are
sides. Yeah.
We are not on the court, and we are not judge. How do I have to, you know, the biggest effort is to understanding the people and understanding the world. And surely my job is not for the judging, to say good or bad. How do I know what is good or what is bad? Which kind of law says to us, this is bad? I don't know. You know, if I see, okay, yeah, the fence is bad, that's sure, because do not allow the people to feel free. But it's, again, it's a kind of theoretical things. And, you know, it's, first of all, I don't like to show the people in a film who are really bad, because I like to love my characters, even if, let's say, they are doing sometimes not really okay things.
Shady things, yeah.
Yeah. But I don't think it's...
They're still likable, yeah.
Yeah, every human being. And that's why I don't understand why we are saying this is beauty or this is not. You know, which kind of way, you know.
You mentioned beauty, but there is a sense of beauty in your work, for sure. Even if people say it's ugly or it's ugly faces, it's all
of course,
made
because I love
beautiful.
them and I wanted to show them their beauty. Everybody is beautiful. Of course, in a different way. But okay, the capitalism say we have a standard for the beauty. But we can sail it, of course, because this is the spirit of the capitalism, to sailing. And, you know, yeah, we never did movie about the people from the cover page of the Vanity Fair. And but when Tilda Swinton was on the cover page of the Vanity Fair, but fortunately it was
in the London.
After The Man from London.
Yeah. Maybe not thanks to, but after. Yeah. No, she's indeed one of the actors of. Okay. it's not about Europe, but maybe European cinema, because your work evolved, things evolved. How important, I'm returning also to Prologue maybe, is 89 and the disappearance of the Iron Curtain. How important has that been for you in your development or your freedom of expression or freedom to develop your work further? Was it
What is the
significant?
difference? What is the difference between, let's say, how this kind of fake socialism, or what is the difference between this, what we have now? At that time, it was a censorship of the politics, and now we have a censorship of the market. That's all. And I see so much differences, especially now in Hungary, when you can feel it. You have a deja vu feeling.
How did Hungarian audiences react to your work throughout the years? Because I think we see it more exotic or a bit further removed from us. Particularly the landscape is different. I mean, the people are people, but the landscape is obviously not everybody's or every country's
here is
landscape.
also flat.
Yeah. Debatable.
We came now from Amsterdam. It was a just petrol stations, factories, and I was happy when between two buildings I could see a little bit the landscape. Yeah. Because in the whole
we don't have a landscape anymore,
yeah. You have this kind of beton buildings.
Yeah.
It's but everywhere. Yeah. That's the new landscape in Europe.
Yeah. Europe, yeah. Did you like working more internationally, let's phrase it that way, leaving your country and say shooting The Man from London in Corsica?
Yeah, but it was only one what I shot outside from Hungary. And all other stuff I shot in Hungary. And except this, let's say this Muhammad for the exhibition, we did it in Sarajevo.
Because you have become a European citizen in a way that you also stayed for a moment in
I
Berlin.
have a European ID card. It means I can travel in. But that's all. I still don't know what this means, European citizen.
You stayed for a while in Berlin because we were teaching there. You stayed for a while in Sarajevo also as a teacher, because this has become maybe an epilogue to your career as a filmmaker. It's now inspiring or instigating, or there is a reason or an urgency to do this. It's not.
No, it was a very simple situation. I decided I stopped the filmmaking. And what can I do? And I had to closing my production office in Hungary, and because I could not accept this political situation, and I wasn't capable to collaborate with those people. And then afterwards, I was thinking, what can I do? And I was teaching before in Berlin. I was doing workshops in LA and a lot of places. And I was thinking the best. And I saw it, the film education somehow, I don't like the way. I know now, I am sitting here, and it's a big provocation. But I had an idea about, let's say, the unorthodox film education. And that was the reason why I went to Sarajevo, and we were doing this film factory. We call it film factory, not the kind of film school. And it was 4 years.
What was
in my life, and honestly, I'm proud of this.
What was the connotation of factory for you? Was it referring also to the early days of Soviet film when the notion of working with working people was important, or is it a parody of the Dream Factory, or why do you
No,
call
no,
it
no,
Factory?
no. Because, sorry again, I'm in the art school. I have to tell you, I don't believe I don't like when somebody believing he or she is an artist. I think the artist is a kind of title, what you can achieve if you are working hard. And the people and the time will call you artist. You cannot call yourself artist. And that's the reason when I decided, okay, we are working there, and everybody who is there just worker. And that's why it became factory, because we were producing films, we were doing workshops with some really great guys.
You invited quite prestigious or renowned filmmakers like Apichat Pongvirasitaku, Carlos Regadas, Gus van Sant, as far as I know, and
Yeah,
probably many more.
and Guy Madin came,
Yeah.
Pedro Costa came, and Tsai Ming Yang came. I think it's the whole contemporary film have been there.
But
Tilda Swinton was doing workshop, Juliette Binoche, Gael Garcia, and a lot of guys came, and we were working together there. It was really amazing.
with always working, but with a product in insight. So was it also in function of a real result, or was it practicing training?
No, we produced some really, we had some features, full-length features too, but the young people did it.
And you selected who was invited as a guest teacher, as a filmmaker?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, because I mean, most of them are more or less. I mean, they're very distinct, but similar. I was surprised to find Guy Madden in there. Pleasantly surprised. I really like his work, but he's a very nervous filmmaker and mannerist in a way, or very.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's my relationship with those people. It's different, and
It's a personal one, yeah.
yes, of course, and it's much easier if I ask them, please come and work with the young people. The whole factory idea, it was the same like what the Bauhaus
Ambition
did it.
was,
Yeah, the whole ambition. To some experienced guy and some beginners are working, doing, thinking together. Of course, everybody has a different way. Apichat went with them to the forest for the meditation. And then Carlos Regadas went to them swimming. And it's why not? And during of this time, they can share it a lot of things. And of course, I was chosen the students too, personally, because I don't believe so much this kind of fake democracy when you put your responsibility for the other commission members. No, why not? If I choose the bet.
So you were the author, like author cinema. You were the author of the
sure.
factory. Yeah. Yeah.
Sure. It is and when I left, I think now it's over.
It's gone. Yeah.
It's over.
But not being a pessimist, this is for you very important then to say, well, this morning when you introduced Satan Tango, you say very few words apart from be brave. And one reading about Film Factory is also a quote from you, be more radical than I am. So
that's
creating
my
also
wish.
kind of ambition
That's
or hope
my
for the
wish.
future.
Yeah. That's my wish.
Yeah. And there's enough reason to be that optimist that there will be a
Sure.
Yeah. And technology, have you experienced the changes in technological facilities? I mean, throughout your career, a lot of developments took place.
Honestly, I'm an old guy who was all the time very conservative, and I shot everything for the 35 millimeter celluloid, and all my movies are on the celluloid. But, you know, my problem is, okay, now we see the technology give a lot of possibilities. You can do a film with your phone. It's not a big deal. You don't need any more money. You can do yourself with your friends, and you can be free. And it's no reason to listen for any expectations, because no more expectations. And but the other hand, what I miss now, the people are using this digital technology as a kind of fake film. They want to use this camera on the same way like the people were using the film camera. And this stuff has a different possibilities, different logic. And I'm all the time waiting for the moment when the new generation discovering the new language for the digital motion picture.
You haven't seen it yet, or properly applied?
No, it was only one historical point when I saw it, the Namjoon Pikes, you know, the
video,
the cello. And that was a point when I had the feeling now it's coming something. And then nothing. Hollywood is using these things because it's cheaper than developing the film and taking to the lab and then waiting for the rushes. And then, you know, the film is a handmade stuff. And this one is, I don't know. But it's maybe, it's surely, it has to have a new way how you can use this technology.
Using is one thing, experiencing it is another. Today people gather together in the cinema to watch a film copy, a film print of Shatan Tango. There was a nice piece in a newspaper yesterday saying, like, for 20 years I've waited for the occasion to see it because I refused to see it on a DVD or on my own. Is that a compliment for you that, yes, seeing it as made?
Of course.
And were you happy, or are you okay with the fact that many people now watch your films digitally? And
of course, I wish, you know, the problem is now most of the cinemas or theaters, they don't have any more film projector. They have just this DCP technology. When, you know,
it's impossible.
They are getting the film through the internet, and then they are showing. The projectionist doesn't see, you know.
Well, that's inevitable. Another thing is watching collectively in a group or watching it individually. How important is that for you, that a film brings people together?
Yeah, it's nice when I see the fully packed cinema, but you know, for me it's much more important. Doesn't matter if you are alone, you could be touched also. It's not a question. But honestly, when I had my own production company and I wanted to see a film, we had a screening room, and I would prefer to sit alone because sometimes I do not like to go to the cinema because the people are all the time laughing when I want to cry, and they are crying when I am started to laughing, and it's sometimes it's not okay.
Comfortable.
Yeah, I feel like an idiot, really.
The Idiot by Dostoevsky, maybe.
No, not.
From that
Well,
book.
hey, I did not mention Dostoevsky. It was a good chance to say something, but not now.
You did on Friday in I was
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
watching. Well, in that book, The Idiot, there is this famous quote: "Beauty will save the world." You're not a believer of that quote, then either, or that through.
What I was quoting in, not quoting, just mentioning Friday in Amsterdam, it was.
Was about humanity.
Yeah, about the humanity from the Karamazov, when the old rich lady goes to the starets and she said, "Oh, I so much love the humanity. I would like to help them. I'm capable to go to the hospital to help to the sick, ill people. But you know what is the problem? They smell bad."
Well, that's
And
it.
she loves the humanity.
That's the advantage of cinema, no smell. Well, unless you share it
Oh,
with people.
sometimes has.
Particularly in cinematheques, yeah. What I recall, I mean, yes, I'm referring to this talk you gave on Friday at I, also as a kind of closing talk. For me, what hit me most was a simple phrase you said: "Showing is sharing." It's sharing something with people.
Of course. But something about the eye for Friday, Rancière was much cleverer than me, but easy. Yeah, showing it means sharing. Of course, you know, it's very simple. You are living in a world, you see a lot of things transforming on yourself, and you share it with the people. Because I don't know why. Sometimes really have doubt why you are doing, why you are spending all your life for why you are devoting all your life for the people.
You don't understand it, or?
Yeah, sometimes I'm asking myself too. Such a crazy thing.
Yeah. Well, turning it to your own step you took in saying stopping filmmaking, I think we all feel you love what you did, although the cold and the times of the day, etc. But there's a passion, a love for doing this.
Sure.
Don't you miss it?
Yeah, I miss. I said, I think, I don't know when, you know, the filmmaking looks like a drug. And I'm still junkie. But
taking off, or transmitting the addiction to younger generation by teaching.
it's not a teaching.
Oh, sorry, by
You know,
working
it's
together.
you just try to find a way to for to find them. And I'm not teaching. I don't know what this means, teaching. If you are teacher, you believe this is the way, what the right way, what you say or what you teach.
Which implies the wrong way, yeah.
And hey, now, no, I don't believe the education, especially in any kind of art. I believe the liberation. You know, just to make you free and help you, guarding you, to find yourself, your own language, because everybody is different. And everybody has different background, social history, and a lot of things. We are different, fortunately, because this is our power, our differences.
You deliberately chose students from all over the world to come to your factory.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, can you believe how was in the first day when the Icelander guy met with a Japanese girl who that was her first trip in Europe, and both came and they were watching their other stuff, and they started to work together. And, you know, it was amazing to see how the cultures and the things are meeting.
Is this for you also a form of resistance, or saying like I want to oppose?
I do not resisting. I just wanted to do it.
Yeah.
It's not resistance or I don't know.
No, I was
You
reminded of the title of the book that you based Werkmeester Heimeri on. Is called The Melancholy of Resistance, which I think in a way...
you have to ask the writer, László Krasznahorkai, not me.
So you don't think it... I mean, for me it does, and just one opinion. It kind of... The combination of melancholy and resistance in one title is also maybe typifying you.
Yeah. But the film has a different title. I like this title.
Yeah, but it was
it's
already
fit
taken.
For the novel.
Yeah. Music, should we talk about music? In a way like Shatan Tango is also has music in it.
I love the music.
Yeah.
Really.
I mean, the music or music in general?
Generally, and of course, you know, the music is important for me. Fortunately, really fortunately, I met 1983 with Mihai Vig, and since from our first meeting, we were working together till the last film.
Yeah.
And it was so amazing work. And he knew, because he's also not a professional, me not, and you know, we just felt each other, and then it was simple. And he was doing music. He went to the sound studio. He was recording something. He came. He was showing, and I like it mostly.
And it was mostly melancholic, of course. In a way, yeah. Most of
the
music.
No, there's a lot of dance.
Yes. Yeah.
Why do you think it's melancholic? When the people are dancing, they are enjoying the life. How you dance, it shows how you enjoy your life. And the quality of the joy, showing very clearly the quality of your life.
The quality of your composer, Michael Wiek, is also a double quality, because he's acting in several of your films or your works as well.
No, just only in the Shatan Tango.
And Journey in the Plains?
Yeah, that was a kind of epilogue for the Shatan Tango, because it was a private crisis, and we decided to shoot something with him. But it was different.
Yeah, still I like it. And so this sound is not only the music, of course, it's also quite often a hypnotic or hypnotizing soundscape. And then the words, less and less towards, I mean, Turing Horse contains very few words, but still there's a monologue in there, a striking one about how people take, exploit, degrade things, and that's like a vicious cycle. I mean, I cannot quote it. It's been beautifully delivered. In nearly all your work, I think there are these monologues, and they're very powerful. At the same time, there's always a feeling like, don't take it too serious, or it's just one position.
Of course.
They're never the statements of the film.
never ever. It's just something about the person who is telling this. All my movies has long monologues. Really, my first film had 2 monologues. The Familiness, there is 2 long monologues. It's still all my movies has.
How come that's so important for you to have?
Because I don't know, I like the monologues. Really, I just know it's a film cannot exist without monologue. Minimum 1 monologue. I don't know why. Really.
Coming from your background, perhaps? I
No,
only know very little of it, but,
no. It's not my background. It's just because, you know, I was working in a ship factory when I was young, till 18, till 22 years. And you know, when we finished the work, of course, we all went to the bar, which it was front of the factory, and everybody there, and every day somebody had a long monologue. One day this, and the next day that, and it's something happened with them. Let's say the wife left, or the kid became sick, and they just seated and started. And sometimes it was 1 hour long monologue. And I just learned it, the logic, and I just learned it. Okay, let's dance.
I think we got a hint here.
That's perfect.
Let's go to the bar in a few, after a few protocol moments still to go.
Okay.
Thank you very much for this dialogue, nearly a monologue. Thank you very much, Béla Tarr.
Yeah. Let's go to drink something and you can say your monologue. Sitting in front of him.
Yes, it's nice. Dear students and distinguished guests, dear President of the University College Ghent, a warm welcome to you in this academic meeting in honor of Béla Tarr. Dear Mr. Béla Tarr, dear Béla, if I may so, speaking on behalf of all colleagues and students, as Dean of our Royal Academy of Fine Arts and of the Royal Conservatory, I want to thank you and Amila. I don't know where is Amila. Hello. Thank you and Amila for being with us today, for the inspiring dialogue, monologue, fighting we just witnessed, and for your work tomorrow with the students. And let me start my short introduction to what David will bring for us with a book, and I should not forget to invite you to sign it. I'm referring to the book that is on this socket, and it dates back to the year 1770, when our academy was 19 years young, 1770, and when our academy must have flourished at the time, as the front page of the book shows an illumination by Pieter van Rijschoot of a woman with 5 breasts. It bears the signature of die Weltseele zu Pferde, Napoleon Bonaparte, as Hegel called him, of his brother, but also of our King Willem van Oranje-Nassau, and this last name might please David, and our other students from the Netherlands, with whom we once were united. But while our School of Arts has an age-long history, as the book shows, in fact, the Magister Artium Gandensis is brand new and adds new pages to the book. We therefore invite you, after our address and laudatio, solemnly to sign a page that was illuminated especially for this occasion and for you by Henri Jacobs, who teaches in our drawing department. Dear Mr. Tarr, University College Ghent and its School of Arts in particular honors you with the epitheton Magister. To us, an intimate, valuable and passionate gesture. The Magister Artium Gandensis is awarded to artists who are and will be an inspiration to the students of our academy and conservatory. Previous laureates were the jazz composer and musician John Zorn, the artist duo Gilbert and George, and the actress and performer of contemporary music Salome Kammer. It is clear that semantically a magister or master is much more than a mere academic degree or an honorary title, but what is mastership? Musing and philosophizing on this subject might easily lead us into shady New Age territory, where gurus often take the guise of masters. We should also be careful not to fall back on a reactionary discourse as a term of master and apprentice take us back to a pre-modern approach of education. There are, however, traditions on mastership that are intellectually sound and not conservative. In those traditions, a master is someone who is authoritative in a certain field of human activity. You could compare it in a way to saints, in the way that saints are authoritative in their religion. Masters then become points of reference by which the rest of us can find some of their bearings. Today, these points of reference are more necessary than ever, as more and more opposition and conflict prevail, be it inspired by religion, by nationalism, or by ideology, and almost always driven by economic interest. The ensuing destruction of human life, of animals, plants, places, and objects in the area of industrial and financial capitalism, the devaluation of human values only makes our gathering today, here, with you, more meaningful and valuable. For countering this destruction and devaluation, there are images, words, sounds, movements, consciously crafted and designed spaces and objects that retain their value no matter what happens. Works of art. Their essential function is not derived from practical or financial value, from political or military power, from their nationalist or religious canvassing qualities. Quite the contrary. They stand ridiculously vulnerable in their uselessness, and yet accomplished works of art are carefully passed from one generation to the next, protected more than anything else, admired and cherished through the ages. In most cases, these sounds, These images, words, movements, and shapes originated with one specific person in a particular context, in a distinct culture, but they are of enduring, never devaluating value for many, often virtually all people. Works of art succeed in elevating us, in uniting all humanity, while simultaneously respecting their singularity, their otherness. How remarkable it is from past ages that it is mainly the works of art we wish to safeguard. And why? Because they say perhaps something about us as well, and actively speak to us without ever devaluating us as human beings. On the contrary. Art academies, art schools, are places where young people are trained as makers of such remarkable things that retain their value throughout the turbulences of history, also throughout our nationalist and capitalist area of history, and that are passed from generation to generation as being valuable in themselves. Therefore, teaching art and searching to become an artist, to become someone called an artist, is essentially a political and ethical activity to us, not in the sense of teaching and learning from within one particular ideology or one theory or point of view. On the contrary, it is political and ethical as activity in the sense that it relates to a realm of life that retains its value no matter what happens, and in the sense that it requires an assembly of a diversity of points of view and practices as the only productive way to proceed. To open the doors of perception that for that realm of life that retains its value no matter what happens, and to grow into that assembly, in other words, to become a master in the arts, young people, to do that, need a multiplicity of masters as points of reference. Of course, essentially, these masters and students are equals, as they are both on the same impossible quest for understanding, cherishing, and molding life. There lies the difference between saints in their religion and the masters we are talking about tonight. As part of humanity, we are perhaps all struck in the first year bachelor. Dear Mr. Tarr, we believe you are a point of reference to the community of our school. It is therefore that David Slotema, student in the film department of the master program in audiovisual arts, will address you a laudatio. After the laudatio, our president, Professor Paul van Kouwenberger, will hand you the trophy of the Magister, which is a sculpture by one of our alumni, Johan Tahon. He made 5 copies of the same mold, which all differ in some details from each other. One of these 5 is with John Zorn, one is with Salome Kammer, one with Gilbert and George, the 4th will be yours. Dear Béla, thank you very much for accepting this honorary title of Magister Artium Gandensis.
I am not as sophisticated as our dean, so my text is slightly shorter. Dear Mr. Tarr, Béla, it may seem as if I'm standing here on my own, speaking only for myself, but in fact I will speak with the voices of many if not all the students, teachers and alumni of this school. Ever since the first rumors about your visit to our school made their rounds here at KASK, everyone here has been excited. No one ever asked the question why you would receive this honorary award, since your work has carved a deep trail, not only in the film department, but throughout the institution. Your films are the source of inspiration for people to come here and make films themselves. We watch them together and reflect on what we saw in our papers and dissertations. Teachers across the many art departments we have here rely on your work to fortify their lectures. To accurately describe any of your work here is an impossible task for me, since I am neither a poet nor a writer. Besides that, I think your work defies any description. The only rightful thing to say in my case is that I never watch your films, but I experience them or perceive them. They contain this rare quality that is only shared with great music, of communicating directly, bypassing any form of intellectual reasoning, with something inside, which you might call the soul. The experience you offer to us prioritizes sensing over understanding. It's filmmaking that cuts straight to the essence. I came to this school to explore ways of expressing myself through visual means, helped by teachers that don't preach or teach, but kindly show me possible paths to follow, never forcing me in any direction. The only demand is to find your driving force and to work with uncompromised commitment. Why do I want to make something? What do I want to express? What am I doing here? What strikes me most in your work, aside from the artistic mastery, is the presence of your relentless driving force throughout your whole oeuvre. From the first film to the last, in every scene and every shot, down to the smallest fiber of a frame, we feel your compassion for humanity. And although it seems like an impossible endeavor to make films of such beauty for a beginning filmmaker, I don't think that any student should ever give up on his or her aspirations to make such monumental work. But maybe it's not the starting point. When we consider your work, we should acknowledge that the Turin horse could never have come into being without all the films that preceded it, all the way up to Family Nest, a film you started shooting exactly 40 years today ago. With every consecutive film, you worked your way closer to your thematic essence, while guarding over the dignity of your characters. With every step, the all-encompassing image of the core you want to express became clearer and clearer, until everything that could be left out was carved away. I think that's a valuable lesson for everyone here, and the main reason to honor you with this award. Commit yourself and follow your driving force, the thing that makes you want to wake up in the morning, and fight the rest of your life in every work you make to express it in the most truthful way possible. And until then, to quote the driver from Satan Tango, keep plodding and plodding and plodding and plodding. I would like to invite you to sign the book now. And